We are back live here from the McCall zone. Come on down. All of our solution providers are still here. We got people milling around. We are live here. We got our AR, VR sets over there. It is day 2. Well, day 3 technically. We are still going strong. For me, it started at 7:30 with the Ed Tech breakfast, and I also know my next guest was up early and at it as well, and closing the event today. So I can't wait to hear how his last few days have went. So Joe, thanks for stopping in.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Ted. I appreciate having.
Awesome. So, for those who don't know you, the very few, tell us who you are and the work that you do.
Absolutely. So my name is Joe Sanfelippo. I'm the superintendent in the Fall Creek School District in Fall Creek, Wisconsin, home of the Fall Creek Crickets, and we are here today having a great time at McCall. We actually brought 3 teachers with us today, and they've been here for a couple days. They presented yesterday and just crushed it. And, everybody was really super appreciative of the work, and so was I. They're amazing. It's fun to watch your team just kind of go out and kill it, and they did. So it was fun.
No, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that impresses me about the work that you do is even though you speak nationally or internationally, you are always promoting other people. You're sharing, you're promoting their work. You even brought some staff with you here today, really modeling that stronger together mentality. And how has that helped you in the culture of your district?
Yeah, I think it's everything, to be really honest, because, one of the things that's really important about the work that we try to get done, the first is the answer is always we. Like, we do all this stuff. This is not one person. And for me, honestly, I'm just super loud. I mean, me being loud doesn't make Fall Creek special. What makes Fall Creek special is the people that are there. I often say, like, you can be famous and not special, right? Like Spam is famous. It's not special, right? Like, you can be, but the people in Fall Creek, Wisconsin are special. And so to get them here and to be able to see them present in front of a ton of people and talk about the great work that's going on in the space is really cool. And what ends up happening then is they go back, they talk to their colleagues, they talk about how cool it was, and it just keeps momentum going when things get really hard. And at this time of year, things are pretty tough just to try to get through the year and know what the end of the year looks like. So. We're so proud of them. They're somewhere. I don't know where they are. They're actually
if they come by, we'll just flag them down.
Yeah, they're definitely here somewhere. I saw them brought their stuff in to the exhibit hall, so I know where they're somewhere out here.
Awesome. So what did you all present on?
So yesterday we presented on our passion project process, which is essentially PBL for teachers, and which is resulted in PBL for students. So our teachers get a chance to do a passion project every year. And they really just lean into something that they're passionate about, and we give them time. And then at the end of the year, we do a street fair where just like this. It's like a vendor hall where everybody gets together and you put your display of learning out, and then you just walk around and see what all your colleagues learned throughout the course of the year. There's no judgment on, did you attain a certain level? Right. It's like, here's what it is. You got better. And this is how I got better, or it didn't work, and this is how I'm going to change it for next year. So that's been pretty fun to see. So they did a great job talking about that, and then what else? We had the Cup of Joe thing this morning, which is just talking more about it. And then the keynote this afternoon will be on the impact of moments and how we can take these, all these little moments that happen and, kind of turn them into people supporting your school, because there's not a lot of people supporting schools right now.
No, and I think that's really important as we talk about where we are in education is how to make those moments.
Yes.
And for you, how do you bring that to a district? You're in the district office.
Yeah.
I know that you're out and about, but for other school leaders, how do you bring those moments out in a district?
Well, I think first of all, you have to be willing to see them. I think the biggest problem with not sharing moments that happen in schools is the fact that you walk past them all the time to get to the next thing on your list, right? Like, if you're bound by the list, you're always getting to the next thing on the list, and then you walk by a ton of great things that are happening to get to the next thing, when if you're just looking around, you'll be able to see a lot of stuff. So we actually take it on, and we've talked about this. I'll talk about this till I'm blue in the face, honestly. The fact that we can recognize the greatness of our colleagues, acknowledge the greatness of our colleagues, and extend the greatness of our colleagues. And a lot of us do the first two. They recognize it and they acknowledge it, which is good for you and me if we're here,
sure.
Right? But the second that I take this conversation and bring it to somebody who's not here and tell them about the great things that you're doing, then all of a sudden we got more people talking about us. That person feels good. You feel good. I feel good for saying it. Like, we got this momentum but we don't extend the conversations enough because there's so many people that are out of here that don't see us.
Yeah, I think that's it. Spreading that message, spreading the
Yeah.
work that you do, and I know it's a lot that you do outside of here. And as someone who is experienced in presenting, I've seen a lot of first timers here. What would your recommendation be to them as they start to get into the presenting at a McCall or getting to a bigger event like ISTE?
I would tell them that keep it simple. Like I think if you ask me to talk about curriculum design or learning spaces or what our budget, like I'm not going to do it because I'm not great at that stuff. But you want to talk to me about how we can amplify the voices of the people in the space? We'll do that all day because I know I can prove it. So when you go and talk to a group of people, talk about the things that you can prove, because the minute that they well, first of all, if they don't think you're authentic, that's a whole nother conversation. But if they can see themselves in the work that you're doing, then they walk out as the heroes, and it doesn't turn into like, well, if Joe was here,
Right.
it would be better. And like, that's not it. It's the people that are doing the great work. And if you can create that in the people who are in your audience, you're going to be much better, and you're going to be asked to do it a lot more because they're going to talk about it a little lot more.
Absolutely. And I think that's a lot of what it into, and I want you to share your book, Lead From Where You Are. I think the things that you're talking about, the thing you model, is what's in there. And then for those who haven't picked it up, Joe's website is down below, or follow him on Twitter. You can check it out. For those who haven't read it, just give a little 30-second snippet of what they get from that.
Yes, thanks for showing that. I appreciate it. It's really, I do these little 1-minute walk to work videos, and essentially I walk to school and talk about leadership. And the book is really a deeper dive into all of those walks where, there's a story about something cool that happened. There's often a story about something that I screwed up. And I want to make sure that we get all the great stuff out. But this other side is, I don't want people to screw up the stuff that didn't need to get screwed up just because I screwed it up because I was too, whatever. It just wasn't thinking about the right way to do it.
So what's next for you?
Oh, that's a great question.
Besides the closing today.
So I think we got the, we're still trying to get through the year and just trying to make people feel valued in terms of the work that they do. And every chance that we get to celebrate the great things, then we're going to do that. I mean, I've got a couple of events that I'll do, but at the same time, I'm going to lean into these kids and these teachers as much as I can before July 1st, and we start doing something different. So we'll see how it goes.
So one of the things I find, interesting from individuals who are out and about a lot, you share a lot. Where do you get your learning?
Oh, that's great. Well, I think when you can, well, first of all, you come to these things, you got to be a student. Like, you got to actually lean in. I'll go into sessions and watch people for their content, for their delivery. You talk to people. I think you do a lot of reflection in terms of what's going on. So I think you have to do all of those things and know that you don't have all the answers. And if you can kind of move into that, and I watch a lot of videos to start my day just to kind of keep myself going and think about things a little differently. But I think I find inspiration the most in two spots. And the first is in my family, and the second is in knowing that what we talk about impacts the way that people feel in our building. So for me, people ask me a couple of years ago, one of my staff members asked me, what's your goal for us? Like, where are you going to see us in the next 5-10 years? And I said, well, it's not my goal, it's yours.
Right.
So we can do it together. But I said, I can tell you my hope, and my hope for you is that you feel the way that I feel when I talk about you. And if you feel the way that I feel when I talk about you, you're going to feel amazing and continue to do great work.
Awesome. Well, thanks for popping on, sharing your work, sharing your time here at McCall. Make sure to head up to the closing keynote. Is that a 2 o'clock?
2:30. I think 2:30.
2:30 in the Grand Hall. And check out all of Joe's work. Follow him online. Check out his website. Thank you for all you do and modeling everything you talk about.
I appreciate it, Matthew. Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. And stay tuned. We got a couple more guests coming out throughout the morning.